You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, and if you can get for me, but for me, I just for me. So for me, I don't know. For me, but for me, so for me, you know, it's one of them for me. But for me, people are forgetting how bad it was.
Great.
For me, it's one of them for me. Do United need another centre back? For me, he hides away, and he so. Bailly for me is good, but that's a question for me. So for me, that's what for me the key. So for me, it's worrying times. You know, it really is. For me, Ronaldo all day. For me, Ronaldo. That's for me. It's the time for me to catch in on Matic. So for me, yeah, that realist underscore 187. Yeah, man. Just before I start, I want to say Eid Mubarak to everyone. Big up to everyone and Eid Mubarak. But yeah, for me, that's for me. So for me, I've always said it. For me, Josh King. For me, but for me, this.
Do you want me to talk about the Manu Matic for a bit while he's off?
No,
you're okay, mate. You're okay.
I don't know. For me, I will never ever take that. For me, so for me, it's got to go for me. So for me, let's Van der Sar. For me, you know what? Again, for me, underrated. For me, Nani, man, it got to be Nani. For me, the key. For me, whatnot. But for me, yeah, mate. United Central YouTube and at realist underscore 187 on Twitter, mate. Good to be back. For me, yeah. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I reckon it's for me. It's not really Sean for me, but for me, United. So for me, yeah, someone else could have him. You know what I mean? But for me, we're Dortmund now. For me, what the question is for me? For me, it goes out to the
too difficult a fixture to think that you're easily going to win it. We might well win it. We might well get beat as well. So it's a massive game.
Kofi's taking the piss out of Saeed's camera. He can't afford a camera. What he's using, he's got one of them security cameras outside, so it's basically linked back up and it looks down on him. That's what he's doing.
That's it. I've got security cameras. Yeah, I mean, safe round. Yeah. I don't know. I'm Brandon Williams for me. For me, I don't think Pogba's gonna. For me. Yeah, United Central on YouTube and realist underscore 187 on Twitter. Thanks very much for having me.